Okay, we're at 1 o'clock. Let's get started. Thank you for joining me. I'm Angela Anderson. This is Carolyn Gore. She's here helping me answer comments and questions. Michigan and Wisconsin. Very good.
Right. I bet they're having much cooler weather than we are.
Yeah, bet.
Does weather affect the stream?
I don't know. That's a good question, Terry. Yeah, put a little like note next to their names too from where they're from, so I'll be able to tell later. Okay, this is great. Thank you all for joining me. We'll just go ahead and get started. I've got a canvas here. How many of you are painting along with me? I know at least one of you is. I feel like I've got a lot of shadows on my canvas here, but I'm not sure how to fix my lighting right now. I'm not going to worry about it. Washington, Michigan, Florida,
Great.
North Carolina. Oh, well, I hope, Terry, I hope you don't lose your connection with your storms. Hopefully not. The internet shouldn't be affected. Alright, so I've got an 11 by 14 inch canvas, and I've set out my paints already. I've got, I'm using mostly Liquitex Basics colors. This one's Quinacridone Magenta. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Then I've got Deep Cadmium Red, Ultramarine Blue. This one's Light Blue Permanent. This one is like Deep Turquoise Green in the Master's Touch, but Deep Turquoise is another name for it. This one is Light Green Permanent, or any kind of bright green would work. Yellow, Cadmium Yellow, Yellow Oxide, Burnt Umber. I think that's raw umber. Yeah, that's raw umber. And black, and then Dioxazine Purple. And then titanium white. It's our color palette.
Well, it's okay, Colleen, if it's only your 4th painting, but you'll do just fine. She's a good teacher.
Yes, yeah.
She's afraid she can't keep up.
Oh, Colleen, well, this will be posted later on YouTube, so you can go back and watch it again after we're all done. So if you can't keep up, I'm going to start with my large brush. This is just a large flat. You can use any large size brush, and I'm going to use my water bottle and spritz my canvas real quick, and that'll just help the colors absorb into the canvas a little quicker. Now I'm going to pick up my blue, light blue permanent, and just start really quickly laying in some color. And I'm probably going to do my horizon line about just above halfway. So keep your blue kind of up in the upper third of your canvas. I'm not going to put too much in the corners because I'm going to put in some darker blue up there. So I'm going to, once I've got my blue down, and make sure you're using it nice thick. Don't go stingy on your paints at this point. You want to cover that canvas. And you want it thick enough so that when we add our other colors in, they can still blend. You don't want them to dry too quickly. So then I'm going to pick up some ultramarine blue. Isn't that a pretty color? One kind of for a soft painterly look.
The streamer stopped streaming.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Video was interrupted.
Uh-oh. Not good. Oh, no.
Sorry, ladies, we have technical difficulties.
I haven't changed anything. I don't know what the problem would be. No data. The health is good, but it's saying no data. I don't understand. Okay. Oh, is it working? It says you were buffering. You got to, okay. People have got us back. Okay. All right, I'm just going to keep going.
It says, is that ultramarine?
Yes, it's ultramarine blue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Christina, it is.
Ultramarine. Okay, so I'm going to keep painting and hope that the live stream keeps working. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up white, and I'm going to go down to the bottom of this blue. I'm going to do the same thing here. Just kind of blending in that bottom edge of the blue to soften it up. It's probably starting to dry a little bit. If yours is dried out, you can just go back in and pick up a little bit more of this blue that we were using and come back up here and tap it back in. Put some up here too. But I'm going to let my colors kind of look, I don't know, let that back of the white show through from the canvas. So I think it should be okay. Is it still working? Hopefully.
Just as we talked about types of brush strokes.
Types of brush stroke?
And I've been,
okay.
This once can't remember a name other than X.
Okay.
The X stroke.
The X stroke, you want me to show it up close?
You're doing other types of strokes in this painting? Are you going to do that?
Yes, I will. Yes, yeah. This is just the blending for the background. This is just what I use. You can you could do it side to side if you wanted to make it more smooth, a smooth transition, but I kind of want it to sort of show the brush stroke, so that's why I'm doing it this way. But I'm just, once you get the paint on there, if you want to kind of smooth it out, you just barely touch it and you can blend it out. But you got to make sure that you're not blending back over a color once it starts to dry. That's why I put the water on, because it kind of gives you a little bit more time to play with the colors. But once the acrylics start to dry, they start to bond to one another, and then they will become sticky. And then when you touch it with your brush, it will stick right to your brush and it'll pull it right off the canvas. So you just want to be sure that you don't overwork it. Lay your color down like this, let it set. If you want to change anything, you can come back to it once it's dry. So they're just a little bit particular that way.
PMB 5005, it's still not working for you?
Oh no. Terry's not working too? Terry Jackson's still working, okay.
Yeah. But Stephanie is also in Washington, and apparently it's working for her.
Okay. PMB is not working for, I'm so sorry.
Hi Sharon, welcome to the class.
I think YouTube is having issues with their live streaming. I don't know if it's because they added all the gaming.
PMB is working now.
It is working now. Okay, super. All right. Well, I'm just going to keep on going regardless because it's going to record this. So if it loses a little bit of it, you could go back and check it on the video once it's uploaded if you miss any little bits of it, because my computer's recording it while I'm doing this, so it'll have the whole thing recorded even if it doesn't go to YouTube right away. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit more water back down here. I don't want to spray it because if I sprayed it right now, it would make little holes all over my sky. So I just added a little bit more water down here where it was starting to dry. And then I'm just going to keep working down the canvas, and I'm picking up some of this yellow. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. The yellow oxide, I'm going to add it to the white so it's not quite so dark.
What kind of stroke is that?
Oh, it's not.
What do you call it?
I'm just loading my brush. Are they asking?
Just the one. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just
one of
loading.
Washington's back on now.
Oh, good. Good.
Then we have Jules Smith working in the UK.
Oh,
She's
good.
watching
I think
the
Jules
UK.
came. I recognized her from last time. Go back. You can look.
There.
No, I mean, you can look and see who was with me last time.
Wait.
Yeah, right here. I wrote
Right.
down all the people that joined me last time.
Really beautiful colors. Yes, they are.
Yeah, Jules was with me last time, see.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to keep on going.
We love the ones that return.
That's right. Okay, and I'm adding a layer of yellow now. Just soft. And I think I'm going to go back up here with my white and soften that upper edge. Don't go too far up because this is going to start to dry, so you don't want to mess with that part. You just want to keep in this bottom area here along this line here. And I might go back in and touch it up later if I decide I want to. A lot of this is going to be covered up with grasses and things, and we're going to add a bunch of layers of green to this, but this is just kind of our undercoat. My canvas is not laying flat on my...
Terry Jackson says, and Angela, you seem to be holding the brush close to the bristles.
I am, yeah, and this one's got really long. I'm kind of wasting a lot of the brush, but I don't use the back end very much. I hold it pretty close, and I hold it sort of like a pencil.
Better control.
Yeah, it does. Definitely better control. And I'm going to use... That's a pretty color. I'm using a combination of a little bit of this. I still have that yellow in my brush, so I haven't cleaned anything out, and I'm just picking up a little bit of that deep turquoise and light green. Oh, we've got 20 people watching. Awesome. I'm going to add a darker green to the bottom here. In fact, I'm going to go real dark. There we go.
Yes, it's a good counterbalance, Stephanie. You're right.
What?
Holding it closer to
Oh,
the
yeah.
bristles.
Yeah.
The long handle can be a counterbalance.
Mm-hmm.
What size brush are you using for the background?
This one is a number 12 Princeton art brush, bright, but I have a number 12 that's like an inch, so this, I would say it's probably 1.5 inches wide. Just depends on the brand that you're using. They all kind of number them differently. I don't know why they do that, but there's no uniform size. This is going to bother me. It's tapping every time I brush through this. Okay, so then I'm going to go back in here and pick up some more of that yellow and just blend back in this transition here so that these colors blend together a little bit. And that yellow's still wet, but it's starting to dry, so I don't want to mess with it too much, but I'm just going to add a few. Yeah. And I don't have a lot of paint on my brush at this point. I kind of went thick down here, and then now as I'm going up here, I'm just letting whatever's left on my brush sort of dry brush over the other colors here. I'm just going to keep going up here, and it should sort of soften up. And it's okay if you get some little brush strokes like that. We'll just make it work. So I'm kind of tilting my brush a little bit so that it looks a little bit like grasses. As I get toward the top here, I'm letting it make sort of grasses looking stuff. Okay, so that's good, I think. We get a little bit thicker down here so that it's completely covering all of my white. So at this point you should have all of your white parts covered. So now I'm going to go back in with this deep turquoise, nice and thick, and I'm going to put some dark blades of grass in here. And it shouldn't pick up our paint because it's still wet, so you don't want to overdo it, kind of leave a lot of space in between them, but yeah, that's good, I think. And I'm just using the edge of the brush. If your brush is getting really thick brush strokes, you press it down nice and hard against your plate, and that way it'll have a nice edge. Whatever edge it's doing here is what it'll do on your canvas. So if your brush is real fuzzy out here, it's just going to make a big fuzzy mess on your canvas.
So you've turned the brush sideways.
Yes, I'm turned the brush sideways now, and I'm not doing the X strokes anymore. I'm just doing a vertical stroke and sort of giving them movement side to side a little bit. Okay. It's looking pretty good.
How are you ladies doing? Are we going at a good speed for you?
Okay, now I think my sky is dry. I'm gonna clean my hand off. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to my Deerfoot Stippler. If you don't have this brush, you could use any kind of scruffy brush. It's sort of stiff bristled. You could also use a sponge, like a small sea sponge or something like that. Hi, Cinnamon, thanks for joining me. I cannot believe this actually worked today, Cinnamon. I mean, it was down to like 10 minutes before and it was still not working, so thank the Lord it got whatever problems it was having worked out. I had to switch to a different streaming service, and I think that's what made the difference. So I'm going to load the tip of my brush. So if you're using a sponge, just load it, just a small area of it, and squeeze it real tight. And I'm going to do my clouds up here. And let's see, let's just put a few in here. I'm not going to make them too many of them, but I'm just tapping on, and if you load just the tip of it, then this back end is clean, and that way you get this softer fuzziness on the bottom. And then I can use my finger and even get a little bit of water and just rub through that and soften that out so that it
Terry, she says she likes that brush.
Yeah, it's a great brush. It's good for bushes and trees and clouds. It's good for a lot of things. I use it on flowers, for the center of flowers all the time. It's awesome. It's hard to find it anymore, but I did find it recently at Hobby Lobby. So not this size though. It was a little bit smaller size. So
did you hear that, lady? She found it at Hobby Lobby.
That's right. This is my friend Carolyn. She's joining me today. She's helping me join. Let me know who's, if you'll let me know who's joining me. So like just whenever somebody comes up, the excitement of live. Cinnamon, you're right. It is exciting going live. I'm still having issues. I had a little bit of a glitch just a minute ago. So, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we won't have any more problems. So, I think I might do one more down low.
So is it called a Deerfoot brush?
This one, yeah, this is called a Deerfoot Stippler. So, and I don't know if they even use this brush or sell this particular one anymore. I've had this one for several years now. So, okay, I'm not doing too. Alright, so now, let me see, this is fairly dry. I think most of this that we put down earlier is dry now, so I'm going to switch over and use my number 6 flat. And I'm going to make some kind of a lime green color to add some more.
Oh. Laura said we were offline, but now we're back.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the deal is. It's not on my end.
Korean eye candle says hi, Angela.
Hi. Came back again here. Okay. Yes, my computer is filming it. That's right, Susan. So YouTube is having issues. I tested all my streaming stuff. We streamed to Twitch. My son was streaming on his account yesterday. So there's nothing on my end. It's all on YouTube's end. I don't know what. They may just be having way too many people at one time doing it. Okay, so now I've made kind of a lime green color with yellow, cadmium yellow, and this light green permanent. And I'm just going to use my brush. I've loaded it flat. This is a flat brush. You could use any brush. You could even use the one that we were using before if you want to. This one's just got a little bit smaller size so that the blades of grass will be a little bit thinner. And I'm just going to go back over here and add, ooh, that's an interesting color against that turquoise, isn't it? Add some color. And I'm going to go nice and high now. I'm going to come up to almost about right here with this. So, and I'll probably come back in and use some of that turquoise and add some blades of grass with that turquoise again that are a little bit higher too. But
our PMB 5005 says the last 2 times she used her refresh button on the computer to bring it back online, and it worked instantly.
Awesome. Okay. Well, good. Oh, I don't know what the deal is. It's just... I'm just glad it's working at all. I was thinking I was going to have to cancel this and just paint this and record it. And Carolyn came over here especially to help me today. So, but we're gonna watch whatever we're watching. America's Got Talent right now, so we're gonna watch that later on. She comes over once a week and we watch reality TV shows.
Don't tell all.
Okay, so now I'm picking up some of that green permanent, light green permanent, and I'm going to go back in here and add some more brush strokes. And I'm kind of mostly keeping them vertical, but every now and then I'm sort of twisting them to the side a little bit. So just give it a little character. You don't have to with this. This is a really relaxing painting. I really like the style of painting. I don't know why I don't paint sort of impressionist stuff more often. When I do stuff for my gallery things, I'm always so careful and I don't know, more uptight. Is really tapping calendar here.
Oh, you're welcome. Doing it. I'm hanging out together, so
Yeah.
we laugh.
Yeah, me and Carolyn, we like to have people.
Laugh, point and laugh.
And we are the and whether somebody or not.
Watch The Voice.
We watch The Voice, Idol, reality TV.
We fun.
It's
Really streaming.
oh, it is. Yeah,
Pixel.
it's fun. We usually eat dinner, TV, and watch. She's my partner in crime.
Yeah. Terry says she tends to paint uptight and love your technique. This one, easy breezy.
Yes, it is for sure. So now I've got. I think that's pretty good. I want to go back in now and tie the yellow that's in the back. So I'm going to put a few yellow blades of in with the yellow oxide.
Yeah, Lord, copy reception. Like we could, ours, it's like the pixels are kind of having a little bit of.
I switched to my angle brush, number 10 angle, but it's a 1/4" angle. Is this working?
The minimalist sparrow says what kind of was used for the clouds.
That was the Deerfoot brush. Deerfoot Stippler.
Deerfoot that you get at Hobby Lobby.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I didn't find it in the sizes, but they did a small.
Yeah, sorry for the.
Yeah, YouTube is having issues today. I'm surprised it's even working, so I'm just hoping everything goes. Okay, so that, I think I like that. It's got color in it. And ahead and start figuring out how to put our poppies.
What do you want her to the minimal sparrow? What was it you need her to repeat, Ton?
Real glitchy. Sorry. Oh, choppy. Yeah, it is.
Good.
I know.
It's the fast movement.
I couldn't tell you. I was having problems. Just join back in. There's thunder in their background. Our storm's coming in. Okay. So this is that I'm doing is kind of partial inspiration. This one and this one also. So I went in not poppies in my painting that I had, was mostly. I actually want to put in apples and flowers too, maybe even some daisies, something like that. So let me see here. I think if you want to, what you could do is let this dry and come back in with chalk if you're not comfortable painting on the fly. I'm going to go ahead and just paint over this because this is not completely dry, but it'll be okay to paint over it the way I'm going to do it.
It's not recording with all that glitches.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you're right. I hope it isn't recording. Well, it shouldn't record with the glitches because it's going straight from my device to my computer at home here. So I think all the glitches are on YouTube's end. I'm not having any glitches with my camera. So
yeah, a couple of you ladies are from North Carolina. Maybe you're experiencing the same storm. Never know.
Okay.
And thanks, Stephanie. Loving it no matter what the tech issue.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. All right. So now I'm going to pick up some of this red. And I've switched over to my Filbert brush. This is about a 1/2 inch Filbert, something like that. This is a number 8, a Master's Touch brush, but you could even use a flat for this technique if you want, but the Filbert's nice with flowers because it's got a little bit of softer rounded edge, so it kind of gives a neat technique. And I think I'm just going to figure out where I want to put my focal point flowers. I think I'm going to do a nice big one right up here. So I'm going to...
Hey, Miss Day.
Hi, Day. Day Burns. She's one of my best friends. She lives here in Russellville, and we go to coffee. She's one of my coffee peeps. We have a girls' night.
Oh, Marguerite has her 5-year-old working with her. So
awesome.
Don't go too fast.
Okay. All right, I'm going to explain how I'm doing these flowers. If you look at the picture, the outline of these is pretty, some of them kind of come off into weird shapes, but for the most part, they're sort of a circle with kind of irregular edges. So you pretty much can't mess this up. I mean, if you kind of keep it in a circular shape, don't go too far to one side or the other. And I'm going to put in a few that are a little bit smaller and a little bit bigger. I'm seeing my green through here, but I'll go ahead and I'll do several coats of over the top of this, so don't worry about that too much. I may add a little working. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so I've just added a tiny little bit of white to my deep red, and it's covering a little bit better, and then we'll go back over it with a little bit brighter reds later. So I'm gonna
yes, this is recording, so you can watch it later on. And Terry says, "Can't miss this up." Famous last words from me. Huh?
Can't miss. Did I say that? I guess I did, huh? Okay, so I'm just adding my flowers in, and I'm going to do some a little bit more rounded than others. Well, I think I want this one to be. There we go. Just have fun with it. These don't have to be perfect. But the main thing to remember is you kind of want it to have movement, so don't do them all in like a straight line here. You want to have some higher than others and sort of space out the sizes and have some smaller and some larger. So think about that when you're laying these in. Let me see, I think I want to do this.
Asking, are you using heavy body acrylic?
Yes, I am. Yes, these are heavy body acrylics.
Yes.
And the heavy body acrylics are just nicer because they're a little bit, well, because they're thicker, they cover better than the craft acrylics, and you can blend them easier. I would buy the most expensive that you can afford, because the better paints, the better your paint quality, and the same thing with brushes. The better your equipment, the easier it is going to be to use them. It really does make a difference with art.
Liquitex Basics.
Yeah, Liquitex Basics. And when I'm painting like fine art paintings, I use the regular Liquitex line, but the Basics is a great like student level or beginner level acrylic, and it's really decent quality. Like I even use it sometimes for backgrounds in my paintings and stuff. Because
What brush are you using for the flowers?
The flowers, this is a Filbert. This is a 1/2-inch Filbert. Okay, I'm going to keep adding. I'm going to add some smaller ones down here. I don't want to go down too far. So I'm going to add some smaller, like little wildflowers down in here, but I do want some of these to be down low. I want most of my focus to be up here, so these ones will be a little bit closer together, up high.
So Craft, you can't hear me, is that what the question was?
She can't hear? Hard to hear your assistant. Or, okay, so you just need to speak up a little bit. Speak louder, Carolyn.
You may not always want to hear what I say. No, I'm joking.
Okay, so I'm just
Bye,
filling
Terry.
in.
Sorry you have to go, but you can watch this later on.
Yeah, thank you for joining
Have a
us,
great
Terry.
day.
So then I'm going to add just a few little spots of the smaller flowers, sort of randomly. And I'm just basically sort of setting my brush down and letting it, letting whatever size petal happen that wants to happen. So just kind of plop it down there and let some random shapes happen.
Deneen, she asked how heavy paint is better.
For this technique, yes, heavier paint is better. Yes, it depends on what you're, what you're trying to do. But the thicker body acrylics are better for wet on wet blending and the kind of painting that I do. Mostly, if you're making like dots, or if you want a very smooth look, you could use the craft acrylics for that. Dots especially are easier, but they actually carry, like Golden has a line of fluid acrylics that are a little bit thinner than a craft acrylic, but they have a lot more pigment in them, and they're really nice. So any paintings that need like dots or something like that, that's what I usually use.
Craft says, oh, the small ones really add something nice.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so I think I'm going to leave that. I sort of like that. I might do, in fact, I think I'm going to make this one a little bit higher, maybe. I don't know. Let me look at it a minute. Yeah, I think that's good. I'll just leave it. Okay, so while this is drying, we want to let this red kind of settle in and dry before we put our top coats on it. So we'll work on some smaller flowers kind of in and around it. And I'm going to switch over to my number 4 round. And let's put in some little purple flowers, maybe with some white. We'll pick up the purple and I'm going to add a little white to it to soften the color. So purple's really dark.
Simon says the golden floods are awesome. Love them.
Yes. Art Sherpa, that's Cinnamon. She does art videos also, and she's part of the creative group that I'm on Facebook, Creative Arts.
Awesome.
Creative Arts Collaboration. It's hard, it's a mouthful. But they're a great group of folks. Okay, and I'm picking up some blue too, because I think I want to add a little bit of blue tinge to that purple. Yeah, that's a pretty kind of like a periwinkle color. Okay, so I've got that, and then I'm gonna, while this purpley blue is loaded in my brush, I'm gonna dip into just a little bit of purple on one side. So I've double loaded my brush. It's mostly just this color, but I've picked up a little bit of this color so that when I go to my canvas, it'll have a little bit of something else going on and not just a solid color. Make sense? So let's see here. I think I might want to make some like bluebell type stuff that's sort of like spiky flowers. So they'll be a little bit thicker on the bottom, and I'm keeping that dark color on the bottom edge here. I think I might even pick up some of this Ultramarine Blue and see what that looks like with it. That might be pretty. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let me see. Picking up some white to give it some little highlights. While they're wet, you can kind of blend back over and mess with them a little bit. I wouldn't put these too close together, like especially when you get up to the top edges here, you want to keep your brush strokes a little bit separated so that they have a little shape to them. You don't want it to be like a big triangle looking blob.
Mm.
So I'm going to put a few little ones
Heather
up in
Craft
here.
said the CAC is how she found you, Angela.
Oh, okay, awesome. Craft Shack, Heather Crafter. Nice, thanks. Thanks for joining me, Heather. I'm still trying to get to know everybody on there. There's so many people. We started out with 9 and now there's over 300, I think. So that's awesome. There's obviously a necessity. And Cinnamon is the one that started it. Cinnamon Clooney there. So she's like our
That's a great growth
leader.
spurt.
Yes. I mean, and it went from what, 9 to 200 within a couple of weeks. It was crazy how fast it grew. Okay, I'm just putting in a few. I don't want to overpopulate this with these purple flowers, but I did want to do a couple of them, so I'm going to do a couple close together over here. I'm losing my dark, so I need to add a little bit of that dark back in there. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do this one a little bit bigger too. Make it kind of like it's going off the edge there. There we go. Alright, maybe one over here. Just a little bit. Alright, so that's good. And you could leave these out if you just want poppies. That's up to you. This is your kind of creation, so you just have fun with it and do whatever you want. I'm going to add a few little daisies. So I'm going to pick up some white, and I've still got my number 4 round. And I'm going to twist it through. I didn't get all that purple out of there. I need to clean that out better. Excuse me. pick up some of that white. Let's do, I'm going to do a couple of big ones. I'm going to do one right here. I think. So I'm going to figure out where I want my center of my daisy. So my center is going to be about right there. So I'm going to work all my petals in toward that spot. So I'm going to start from the outside and work in. And I'm just setting my brush down and I'm going to lift it and pull it towards that dot. Set it down. You can wiggle it a little bit if it's not spreading good for you. These are cute. Alright, I don't want them too detailed because I don't want them to compete with the poppies, but I thought, oh, what did I do there? Look at that. I'm glad I saw that before I went to my canvas. That would have been bad. That raw umber wanted to get in on the fun. Make sure that I know. Oh, they're talking about the group? Oh, okay. She's not asking me a question? Okay. All right. Cinnamon, I do like the lives. I like them both. I mean, they're both, oh, there's that brown. It did get on there. Fortunately, I think my red's fairly dry here. I'm going to wipe it off. Okay. The lives, actually, you would think it'd be more stressful, but it's actually kind of fun. It's almost like I'm doing my regular painting classes, which I'm really comfortable with that. So I think I'm more uncomfortable when I'm recording for some reason, because it's like it's not a natural setting for me, maybe. I don't know. I don't love that daisy. I don't think I like him. I think I'm going to take him off. I'm not sure I like any of these daisies.
Crafter says, oh yes, daisies.
Okay, well, I'll leave them in then. You can leave them out if you don't want them. I'm not sure I love it, but okay, I'm going to do a daisy now that's kind of facing up. So here's his top part, right? And so I'm going to do all the petals sort of. Oh, that brown got in my paint again. Look at that. Oh well, that's fine. So I'm just doing the bottom half of the daisy, and then I'll do like a little cone shape on the top for his head. So, and I'm just going to put a few like little white dots in here and there so it looks like there's some other daisies over here, but we're not going to make them like detailed. Let's do one more over here.
Saying no interaction, maybe that's what.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, I think that's good. I do like the interaction. Ooh, that one got a little bit weird shaped, so I'm just going to make this one bigger over here. So he's not. There we go. Okay, I'll do a few little random dots of white here and there, just so that it looks like it maybe be peeking through the grasses, and then I'm going to do a few more grasses to sort of fill in over the top of some of this too, so that it doesn't look like there's little white dots hanging out in the middle of space. But that'll help sort of with the effect of it kind of. So if you look at our picture here, there's like little tiny bits and pieces of color everywhere, even in these areas at the bottom. So that's what I'm trying to kind of duplicate.
Yeah, Stephanie says a touch of brown just adds a bit of shadow or realism.
Yes, yes. I'm going back in with some red, and I'm going to do the same with the red. I'm going to add a few like little dots of red here and there. That'll really help it too, I think. There we go. Now we're starting to cook. This is looking good now. Good. Okay. My red is still not quite dry, so I'm going to keep on going with these flowers. I'm going to go ahead and add my centers into my daisies. So I'm going to use this yellow oxide, and then I will use this brown on one half of it. So he's going to get to be used after all He was sad. He was being left out. I'm going to add some of this light yellow too. So that probably, you might want to use burnt umber. I've got raw umber. I didn't have a burnt umber in this brand of paint. I need to buy a bottle. I guess mine ran out. I had to throw it out. It was getting old. So,
Someone
so
says
just
we should all share this while it's live, tweet and post on Facebook.
oh, thank you, Cinnamon. That'd be awesome. So I've got my dark color at the bottom, and I'm just, yeah, I forgot to tweet it actually. It's probably too late now. I can't do it while I'm painting, but yeah, that looks nice. So I've got a combination of the yellow and that raw umber, and I've got the raw umber on the bottom part, so it's kind of prominent on the bottom. I'm going to tap in some of the lighter yellow over the top of what I've done here. Make it a little bit brighter. I don't know how that brown got on the top. Too much color in my brush. That one's not my favorite. That was not my favorite when I put it on. I'm going to wipe that off and try it again.
Well, somebody tweeted and somebody Facebooked it.
Thanks, you.
Guys.
Okay, I'll try that again. There we go.
You guys make us proud.
29 watching. Awesome. That's great. I was hoping that I'd get a few more. The last time I did a live stream, I didn't advertise it at all. I was kind of afraid that it wouldn't work, so I didn't do anything. I just kind of went in and said something about an hour before on Facebook. And okay, so now I'm just adding some of these this yellow. I've got yellow ochre and bright yellow in my brush, and I'm just adding a few dots of that. I don't love this one. That one's going to be like the bane of my painting right there. There's always one that irritates you.
I just want to know, as all you artists out there, are you guys your worst critic? Question mark.
I think that's probably true.
Angela Anderson is her worst critic.
That's right. Yep. Okay, so that's good enough, I think. I'm not sure if I love those daisies, but that's all right. We'll leave them in there.
We love those daisies.
Okay. Well, I probably could go back in and add other colors to them, but I don't think I'm going to mess with them right now. My red seems like it's almost dry. This one's not dry yet, but I'm going to go ahead and work on the ones that are dry. And I'm going to go ahead and set in my centers. So I'm going to use that raw umber.
Oh. Says, hey, this is Greg watching from Dave's phone, your mobile.
Hey, Greg. Oh, so is Day watching, or is it just you, Greg?
She must have had to get up to do something.
That's right. Greg and Day go to church with me, so they're a great couple. All right, so I'm going to add the centers to my poppies, and these, of course, they'll be round or like oval shapes, and the ones where we want like especially these ones where the bottom is closer to the top, like so it's angled differently, we'll just place it a little bit lower in our dot here and give it a little more of a rounded shape, so it'll be sort of flattened on the bottom and a little bit more rounded. So just vary the direction that you do the centers and the angle where you set them in your poppy. So if you do them in a circle, they'll be kind of more in the middle, and if you want to do them look like they're cut off, kind of do them back down toward the bottom area here. So like there's petals up top here, and it's hidden with some petals that are covering part of it. Does that make sense?
Mark says he loves the daisy centers to finish off those daisies.
Okay, good. Good. Thank you, Mark.
And Kraft said, found you today by visiting my bees
Oh, good.
list.
Wonderful.
She's about to paint for a video, so I was looking for something to watch.
Awesome.
Now, which brush are you using now?
I'm using a number 4 round for this. And just going to tap in so that they're not perfectly round. Like I need to go back in here. I did these a little too smoothly. I want these edges to be a little rough. So I'm just going to go back in and tap along the edges here.
Wow, Stephanie says, so funny, my hubby Mark is on his laptop in the same room with me while I'm chatting on my computer. We are both watching on the big screen TV.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lots of viewing options.
Wonderful.
Are you guys both artists, Stephanie?
I'm going to do a couple of these where they're looking like right at me. So, and then I think I'm going to do this one facing up. I did a lot of them facing this way, so maybe that's where the sun's coming from. We'll make sure to make our
Well, I probably can
highlights
answer
from
that
that
question
end.
myself, Stephanie, since I saw Mark posting his comments on here as well.
What?
He liked the centers of the
Oh, right.
daisies.
Yeah. I wonder if there's too much glare. I might move this back a little bit. It seems like in my picture here there's a lot of glare on my centers of my flowers there. Okay, this is coming along nicely, I think. Kind of fun.
Oh, Mark has been mostly a photographer.
Oh, nice.
He's been watching more evangelists than me, and he got me started. Way
There
to
you
go,
go.
Mark.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Okay, I think I'm going to switch over now to my number 10 angle brush. This is about a 1/4 inch angle. I'm going to pick up this magenta. It's Quinacridone Magenta. It's like a deep magenta, violet color, sort of. And I'm going to get yellow and make myself kind of an orangey red. The poppies are quite kind of orange, but I didn't want to add orange to our palette list, and this makes kind of a deeper orange color. You could use like another, like a cadmium red light or a naphthol red light if you don't want to have to mix your colors. But I like this.
Greg Burns says we're playing with mobile devices. We're
Nice.
both here.
Oh, good.
Day and Greg Burns are just a techno couple.
So I'm adding white in this, and that's a nice color, I think. We'll see how it looks against our poppies here.
Yeah, Craft Shack says, look at it come alive.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good color. I'm just going to add a few highlights in along the edges, and I'm just thinking about where it would be lightest. So actually on this one, this petal would probably be coming up, so it might be lighter up at the top rather than at the bottom. And then these ones might be catching light up at the top edges. So it'll help if you have a picture, because then you can maybe refer to some natural pictures and kind of see where the light's hitting your flowers. But
We have 27 watching now.
wonderful. thank you all for watching. This is really fun. I'm glad this worked out today. I was really worried it wasn't gonna work. Okay, that's lovely. I'm really liking that. I hope that's showing up against the... Oh, Mark's working on my Gerber daisy. Nice, Gerber daisy. I think I say that wrong. Somebody laughed at me for calling it a Gerber daisy, so I have no idea how you're supposed to say it. It's probably not that way, but whatever.
Yeah, if I mess up on your names, I'm just reading by phonics. That's all I can do. Sorry.
All right, Carolyn. Okay, I'm adding a little bit more white. I think it's not showing up real good, so I'm going to add a little bit more white to this. But we'll just lay this on, and then we can always go back in and add a couple more colors in it. Yeah, that's good. It's working out. Very pretty. These are really fun to paint. I don't know. It's kind of relaxing. I tried growing poppies once, and that was a disaster. They don't want to grow in Arkansas at all. Like, they just don't like our temperatures and climate at all. I don't even think I got them to come up from seed, or if they did, I take that back. I know they came up from seed, but they never bloomed. And I heard later that you have to like have them for a couple of years before they'll bloom. So I killed them before they had a chance. Gerbera. Gerbera. Okay. Gerbera. Yeah. Okay, so I've got I'm going to mix a little bit more. So I'm going to pick up some more of that yellow. Mixing it with that. And this will just keep your poppies from turning pink, because if you went straight with white with your red, of course it'll turn it pink, and so having the yellow balances that out and makes it more orange, an orange tone to your highlights. You don't want them to be pink necessarily. I'm just adding highlights around each of these flowers. I hope I'm not covering up canvas too much. And I'm not being super careful about where I'm laying these, because I can go back in and add some more shadows later to the centers. So I think I will actually add some more color with that deep red and the magenta both. Okay, that's looking really nice. So we've got our first layer of highlights, and don't forget to highlight your little bitty ones too. You want some of those to have little highlights in them. Okay. I'm going to clean that out.
Jennifer Russell, she's in Maumelle, Arkansas.
Oh, we're from Russellville.
Russellville, over here.
Well, good, Jennifer. I'm glad you got Go Hogs. That's right.
I think today's the first game
Is
of the
it?
season. Woo Pig Suey.
You know, I've never been to a Razorbacks game. Have you ever been to a Hogs game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I've never gone. We've been here long enough. I should have gone by now, but I just haven't ever gotten around to it. Okay, I think I'm going to add some deeper shadows in around on my flower here. Let me see about what purple does with that magenta. That might be too purpley. Let me add some of that red. That might be nice. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to add purple, make it nice and dark. That's lovely. Okay.
Yeah, Stephanie says poppies are like crumpled crepe paper, lots of texture in places for shadows and highlights.
That's correct, yes. They're really fun to paint. Okay, so I'm going to lay in some shadows in around the center of my poppies now. Just, and maybe like between some of the petals to sort of make them start to stand out. I'm just barely touching down here, so I'm not really wanting to do a super thick application of paint. I'm just kind of laying in a little texture. That's nice, I think. That'll give it a little bit of added dimension. Might even add some to the bottom of some of these. Mostly around the centers and like anywhere where you think maybe the petal might have crumpled in on itself or whatever. Got it too thick right there. I'm just going to wipe it off with my finger. And try to stay away from the glare from my window.
YouTube just doesn't have it together today.
No, they don't. They do not.
Back and gone again.
Uh-oh. Okay, good. 12 watching. Uh-oh, 5 watching. We've lost everybody.
Oops.
Oh yeah, it's completely blocked up right there. Wow, it's a YouTube issue. I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully some of you who are watching can come back and watch it, the recording. So I'm going to go back over, and I'm going back over some of the areas that I put my shadows in. And I'm just going to do some really bright highlights on a few areas. And this is where you kind of want to be a little bit more careful this time and kind of think through where you want your highlights to be. And before we were kind of just adding some texture to our petals, but now I want to think about it a little bit carefully. So I'm sort of going along the top edges. Anywhere where I think that the light might be catching, and I'm kind of thinking about my light coming from this direction, so that might help you when you're putting your petals in to think about where the top petals might be reaching out. Is it working at all?
Some people
Okay.
just keep going.
Yeah, alright, I'll keep going. And some of these I'm going to come with my highlight real close to the black, and that'll make the flower look like it's cupped.
Still angle brush.
Yes, this is still the angle brush. If you're having trouble controlling this angle brush in these smaller areas, you could switch to the number 4 to do some of this too. It would work just fine. And don't forget your little baby ones. You want to give them some love. Ooh, that was bright. It's alright, we'll make it work.
Craft Shack says it's working for her now.
Okay,
Gorgeous,
good.
Angela.
Thank you. I'm so sorry it's been so glitchy today. It's completely out of my control the way
Yeah,
it's
Laura
working.
Phillips says, between the YouTube problems and the fact I'm really slow, I am way behind you.
Oh,
Hope
no.
You can post the replay right after we're done here?
Yes, it will automatically post to YouTube right after I'm done. It might take it a half an hour or so, maybe even an hour to process. It depends on how long we go today. But yes, it will automatically post. It won't be at the same address possibly, so you may have to look in my videos. I got some black in my paint somehow there, so I'm just wiping that off. And be careful when you're doing this, because if my paint, especially if my red underneath was way wet, it would wipe it right down to the white of the canvas underneath. So
yeah, you're right, Craft Shack. Check Angela's channel out. Join us.
yes,
Plan on doing this every 2 weeks, a live painting class. So
yes,
you can
yes.
come back in 2 weeks and join us again and pass it on to your friends.
That's right. I don't know what we're going to do next time. Do you guys, those of you who are watching, if you want to come back next time in 2 weeks, you can give me some suggestions. I've had a couple of people asking me to do a mermaid, but I don't know. Next time is actually going to be, let me think, it's going to be a fall theme. So next time I'll do something with the fall theme. So probably, I'm guessing a pumpkin, because I'm pretty pumpkin obsessed. I might even do something that's not painting, like maybe a Zentangle or something fun like that. In fact, that's probably what I will do, like a pumpkin Zentangle or something. So
Yes, join the channel on YouTube or Angela's Facebook page.
that's right. Yeah.
And we will invite you for sure to let you know exactly all the materials you need for the next project.
That's right. Okay, I'm adding some more white now. Now I'm going to use the very tip of my brush and just add in some really bright random highlights here and there. Just barely touching, very random tapping to add in some kind of cool little highlights.
Yeah, Laura Phillips said
I wasn't all that excited about doing a mermaid, to be honest, just because it's not really, I don't do a lot of figurative art. I do more like nature stuff, so that's more where I'm comfortable.
Well, thank you, Paula Watts. She says she has to leave, but we'll check the video later to see what she missed.
Awesome.
She says, thanks, this was fun. I'll post my finished picture to Facebook later to let my friends know about your classes.
Thank you, Paula. Really appreciate that. Glad you could paint with us.
She's just putting it all together.
That's right. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I think they've got a good dimension. I've got some good highlights going on. I'll get a little closer so you can see some of them.
We'll catch you later.
Some of the
Craft
details.
Shack. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and then I'm going to add some highlights to my centers of my flowers there, and I'm going to use the yellow ochre and this raw umber. I'm going to make kind of a neutral brownish color. That's actually kind of an ugly color, isn't it? It's like a gray almost, but I think it'll look good for our highlights. You don't want it too bright. The poppy centers aren't yellow. They're like a kind of a brownish color anyway, so I think we'll do okay. And the poppies have, their brightest part is kind of right in the middle, so sort of find your little spots there and just kind of put a little bit of this color in the center, just a few little dots or something to indicate that there's something going on. That's a really good color because it's dark enough that it kind of doesn't, it's not in your face, I think.
Well, bye to all those that are having to leave right now, but we thank you for joining
Yes,
us and
thank
join
you.
us again. I know this has gone probably a little bit more than an hour now,
Oh,
so
it's 2:15, yeah.
hang in there. We're getting down
We're
to the
almost
last
done.
of it.
We've had a few issues where it's kind of like the last little bit that kind of really makes it, finishes it, makes it look finished.
Uh-oh, video wasn't interrupted. The
Uh-oh.
streamer stopped streaming.
Again?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, is it coming back on yet? She makes awesome butterflies.
Yeah.
Awesome, okay. All right, and I've switched to a number 2 round, and now I'm going to be a little bit more careful, and I'm going to think about where I want to put some of these stems, because I don't want my flowers to look like they're floating up in space unattached to anything. So I'm going to put a few little stems in with my brush. That's good. I think that's a good color. And they don't have to connect anything, but at least they'll kind of start them. They'll look like they're the flowers sort of got a...
They all love your butterflies, Angela.
Oh, thanks.
Ron says, Angela, you should add a small butterfly flying across the top.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Awesomeness.
That's a good idea. Keep on trucking here.
Once you guys have a chance to paint this picture, we'd love to see a photo of it on one of our Facebook pages.
Yep, absolutely.
See your finished product. Hey, thanks. I did something right. I pronounced your name correctly. I know I have that problem with my own name sometimes. Most people just can't spell it.
Yeah. She Gore like the president now, or the vice president.
Former vice president.
Farmer, that's right. Yes, Farmer. Who created the internet, so we have him to thank for today's, right?
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he did. Then you can add a few thicker, like, so you have to go. Okay, I think we're about done, except for our butterfly. Let me see. I'll just do like a little teeny tiny one that looks like I already did that. Okay, that's good.
Get your paints and canvas back out.
Well, she's having trouble hearing and seeing it. Uh-oh. I'm just doing here. I'm going to outline him a little bit. I probably need to put another little...
And why are you stuck at the former vice president comment, Jules, huh?
Oops. Oh, won it. My poor butterfly. I erased him. Here, okay. I didn't like that bottom petal anyways. I'll just take it off. Spots or something in him.
Oh, so you're getting to hear it twice? Is that what you're saying, Sharon? The video went back there after it reconnected?
Oh,
Back at the vice president comment.
Oh, that's funny.
It's okay. He's my cousin, really.
That is not true.
Yes, he is.
Is he really?
Yes.
I did not know that. I thought you were joking.
No.
He's your cousin. Nobody could even see what I was doing there. He's so far away. Sorry, I'll zoom in today. And thank you so much. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And I'll probably have another video or two in between then. But for sure in 2 weeks.